Okay. So before I get to this part, we'll just take a look at uh, quick overview of what we covered in the last six sessions, which we were doing during the holidays, June, July time. So yeah, we covered from the basics of Node to how do you actually set up a Node.js project, then creating your own APIs, following the REST convention. After that, we also saw uh, templating using EJS because you don't want to type out the code for each and every user, right? You want it to be dynamic for each individual user. After that, we saw some concepts on authorization and authentication using JWT and cookies as well. So all of this combined together, we made like a very small project on the student management system, right? Where you had to log in and fill the form to create a student, and you can only while the view access for the students was open to all, the actions like delete and edit were only for those who are logged in. So we covered all these till session six, right? And today we'll be seeing about sending emails using a particular module called Node.js. Sorry, NodeMailer. I guess I've lost a bit touch with sessions, so I'll be fumbling here and there. Okay, so compared to previous sessions, I don't have that Excalibur prepared. Honestly, this session, we don't actually need the Excalibur because it's pretty much mapped out in their website itself, what we need to cover. Okay. From the next session, we'll get back into the Excalibur. All right, so the code is up there. If you also have taken a break like the same way, or you've stopped back in the same time we stop the sessions, just go through it to refresh your memory. Okay. So let's just see why we'll actually need to learn NodeMailer. Not necessarily NodeMailer. There are other alternatives that do it as well. You have a very popular one called Twilio. So using Twilio, you can send emails using the SendGrid product, SMSs, WhatsApp messages, all these. This is one of the most popular providers you'd find there. The thing about sending emails is it is its own server that is used for sending emails. You preferably not want to create it from scratch. You'd want to use something called SMTPs. Let me just yeah, it's called SMTPs. They stand for Simple Mail Transfer Program. Okay? So these are basically used for sending emails from one client to another. So you have various email reading clients, right? Gmail, Outlook, or Hotmail. I mean, Hotmail became Outlook, Yahoo, all these, right? So for them to read emails, Gmail, just example, Outlook, you use these SMTPs, and these SMTPs send your mail to that specific person's email provider. So to do that, obviously you need your own server. Suppose you just keep our own this server. Okay? And based on any particular action, we will send a specific type of data, like obviously to whom we are sending the email, what is the subject of the email, what is the content of that email, and very popularly you see that sometimes emails are not necessarily plain text, right? They sometimes also include images. Sometimes they are formatted with a background. It's like you're using CSS to style the content of the email. So what we can do is we can send text, we can send HTML code as well to another person using these SMTPs and the providers. Okay. So you send those specific data. I mean, not really those HTML part. We also have attachments, right? PDFs, then you have images, whatever you name it, you can attach it and you can send it to that person. So all these fields exist already made in an SMTP. So it's like you're passing data into an object and that object is being sent to that specific person and they are opening it to their provider that is Gmail, and they can see it in a that specific formatted way, right? I'm gonna just take a look. I'll just okay, so Gmail is obviously one of the most popular providers out there. Okay. A little bit slow net. Okay, till this opens, let's just go to our VS Code. I have the specific folder open, sending emails with Node.js, and just go to the terminal for that folder. And the same flow. Let's just refresh our memory once again. So to initialize a Node.js project, we had to use npm init. Okay, basically initialize a project in that folder which you're currently in. It will ask you some details about the project, who the author is, what licenses are you using, all that, right? So we'll just go with the default ones. Okay, so just the same folder name, same version, description not really needed. Entry point is index.js, same. No need any test cover. Git repos on the top level, so we can skip. Keywords is only needed when you're publishing your node project as a npm packages, so we can skip this. Also, just put your name, DD, something like that. License, you can leave it default. You can always update these things later. So it will ask you to confirm and just put yes or enter, and it will create that package.json file. Right. So after you initialize a Node.js project, then you can install the packages that you're looking for. So before we go there, let's just see if this works with me. I'll just say the index.js. I'll come to my package.json and I will put a start script. Start node index.js. And just go to your console.log. Okay. So this should basically console.log. Right. So npm start. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So this is working. Uh, but then I mentioned you one more thing. For every change that you make, you have to start and stop the node, running your node file over and over again. So to avoid that, we use a package called node mod. So just install that as well using the -t flag. -t basically stands for a dev dependency. So dev dependencies are packages that you don't really bother about when it's in production, when your other users are using. It's just something you're going to use locally in your system. All right. So we'll input one for that as well. Dev node mod index.js. Okay, so let's test this out. npm run dev. It should console log high. If I come back here, I do save. It should restart and console log high. Good. Okay. Cool. Let's get on with the flow. We start with like how to actually send email. It's still loading. I no idea why it's seems so slow. Okay, so we'll come to NodeMailer. So NodeMailer basically is a wrapper for interacting with SMTPs, where you put credentials. Yeah, yeah, where you put in the required data to whom you're sending the email. Uh, Let me just show you. Yeah, so you have like an object, obviously, to whom you're sending the email, from whom you're sending. This is basically going to be us only, but you can configure it, to send it from one person to another as well. Imagine you're having like an application like Trello. So it has all those custom emails. When you update a specific task, it needs to show that this is you to another person who's involved in the same task. So you'll need, to put different sender addresses and receiver addresses as well. After that, obviously the email subject, and you can either include text or HTML or even both in both as well. Like if your email provider, that is your Gmail or Outlook, doesn't support HTML, then it will take the fallback, that is the text content. So it's safe to put both and send it to the recipient. This is yeah. This is the example. You see this email. It has it's like styled, right? The button is there, the logo of Superset is there. All these are mentioned here. It's properly formatted as well. So this is basically HTML content. Okay. Even I mean, GCR, you're familiar, right? You can see how the styling is different because every organization would want to keep their own theme consistent with everywhere they are present, right? Including the emails. So this is where sending HTML does come and useful. Okay. Cool. Let's get started. Yeah, just follow the same steps. We install Woodmeetup. That was good. So before we install it, we can see into the process or we import NodeMailer, and then it's asking us to do some setup over here. Like what is the host? Uh, what port are we using? Is it supposed to be a secure connection or an open connection? Then obviously your authentication, which user is going to send the email, and what is the password of that user, right? For now, we don't have our SMTP. We don't have our own custom SMTPs. It's something, you have to buy or configure from some other provider like AWS or GCP, but we don't need to go to that extent. That is a bit too much. Let's just try sending emails from mine to someone else. Okay. So I'll use my own college account, but to use that, I'll have to go to my settings. If you're following along, just take a look at this. So later you also can go. So go to manage your account. Okay. Before that, go to security. Make sure you've enabled 2FA. Okay. Right. So just make sure you've enabled 2FA, and then only we can proceed with the next steps. Right. So after you've done 2FA, just search for less secure on-site. Yes, that will go. Like there's a specific setting that you need to disable in order to allow NodeMailer through your Node.js application to access your Gmail account and send the emails. So it's been a while since I set this up. I guess it's on the security enabled to password. You're right. Oh, yeah, let's check your apps. Right. Okay. So I guess it's disabled now. You won't have to do that step anymore. You can directly use something called the app password. So this is, I mean, it's kind of good. You don't have to do that. But let's just get to this. Okay. So you have something called app password. So this is something you can set for custom applications. Example, our own Node Mailer application, right? Instead of you putting in the password every time and then approving the 2FA, what you can do is you can create custom uh, account access or app passwords that doesn't need 2FA on your behalf. Basically, it's keys or app passwords that you trust will not be misused. Okay. So here I'll just put TD, session password and generate. Okay, so give me this. Note that this is just for one-time purpose. So this will show your volume one time. So you don't want to use it. Make sure you copy it. Just come to my folder and I'll create a .env file. So env basically stands for your environment variables. So you usually store stuff here that you do not want to expose to the public. In this case, it's my NodeMail or Gmail password, right? So I don't want this one to be exposed to the public. I will obviously be deleting it after the session because I don't want anything to go with the college account and be suspended. But just follow along for the session shift there. Okay? So right now we can see it get it is showing it is unstaged. I don't want that to happen. So what I'll do is I'll just create a git ignore and I'll just add a .env here. So this will make sure that my env file is not staged within Git and pushed to the repository and make sure it's not made public. So regardless of what it is, make sure your .envs are always hidden. It's only between you and the production server, and it will always be kept on the server side alone. It will not be exposed to any user at any point of time until you mistakenly put it. Okay. So how can I access this, right? So to access this, you need another package called .env. So you just put npmi dot env. Yes, after this install this, maybe I'll just come here and I've been using too much module. Um, yeah, just do .env.config and just for understanding sake, let's see what happens when we run this. Cool. Okay. So you can see it passed the env file and it is an object that contains this value now. So if I want to access this value without typing .env.config every time, what I'll do is I'll just take this, I'll just put this on the top, and then I can, these envs are automatically appended to the current Node.js process. Okay, so you can just type process.env dot the name of the env you're looking for and just paste it here. Yeah, so you see the value is here right now. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next, let's just set up the node mailer. Okay, so for actually being able to use it, you need to access the SMTP. In this case, our SMTP, the Simple Mail Transfer Program, is Gmail itself. And to do that, we need something called a transporter. Think of it as a vehicle that sends the email content from our server to the Gmail or whomever we are sending it. Okay. Things could cost transporter. I mean, technically, sending emails is very similar to just that of sending a post, right? And for your post to reach from one location to another, you need a postman as an intermediary, pun intended with the actual postman application. Uh, so imagine your transporter as the postman who's sending your content from your email or your application to the recipient email's application. Okay? So you just put mailer dot create transport. You need to put the post as Gmail. Okay, and then you have your auth, which will have the user and the pass. The password in this case is our uh, mailer password that we just created through Gmail. And the user is basically my college email account. Right, I'll just create a async function, send, yeah, function, and email, and just try kind of sorts. Make sure we catch those errors. If there's any. So I'll just write a simple code to send an email to my second account, I guess. Yeah, let's just send it to my work account, pronunciation12 at the rate gmail.com. So we'll send it over here, just a simple hi, see if that works. So transporter, so telling using the transporter to send mail or email in that case, let's read the docs. Yeah, it's called send mail. Okay, send mail. And then it takes in these options. I guess you won't need try catch because it's a fallback way. Um, you won't necessarily need from because it is from the same account. But you can definitely put your name location like this. You can mention your name and your email in this format. This from this if this works with the email like this. Okay. And text, obviously, text maybe like a subject, something should come on top because, I mean, the order doesn't matter, but just for our sake, uh, this email is from my custom case application. I then obviously we can put HTML also, right? So let's just put the same p tag and let's go bold tag. Yes, just to see if it's working. Also bold. So after this is done, basically we'll get this info object of sorts. Okay, it is actually okay, synchronous now. And let's just console log and see what. Obviously, don't forget to await this, and at the end we'll just call the function. Okay, so I haven't saved it yet. There's nothing in my console as of now. So I'll just save my console, starting the application and see what happens or not. Okay, it's giving me email not found as an error. Hmm, yeah, this is for this. Let's go back to it. We'll see specifically for Gmail if I missed anything. Right, I guess it's not hosted service. David, let's see. What's going on. Cool, cool, cool. Go. So you see the info object returned this. It said accepted because the email we provided was correct. Then additional information about what the email actually contained. Since we actually used Google, it told that hey, we are logged in and it's sending to the correct way. And some additional responses, how much time it took, what was the size of the message we sent, and the response, request response IDs, all those. So I'll go to my email. And yeah, you can see from SRM, this email is from Universal application and hi. So I'll try to inspect this. It should be the bold tag, right? See, push up, right? So this is not necessarily limited to how you write it here alone. You know, you can modify this to be used in your Express API as well. You can create an endpoint that for example, when a new student signs up in the same application, they'll get an email. Hey, welcome to the platform. We can, even send a verification email like verify, click this URL to verify your account. All these sort of flows you can set up in your own application as well. So NodeMailer is the easiest way to get it set up. And obviously there are other providers also. Resend, Twilio, SendGrid. SendGrid is part of Twilio, but yeah, preferably you not want to use this approach because your email has only a limitation of 500 per day. That is until unless you're part of Google One, that would increase your limitation. But your Gmail, this Gmail approach will limit you to 500 per day. So you want to use an SMTP, either configured from SendGrid or something that you got from AWS or GCP. All right. So any doubts with this? This was, the major part of what I wanted to show you with this. I mean, anybody wants to try? I can send you an email through this right now. Can someone put your email in the chat box? Let's see if this is working or if just put your email in the chat box and just I'll type it out here and tell me if you actually get it. I'll send you first right now. Save it. Yeah. Just let me know if you got it first. Here it's saying it's sent successfully. Just can you confirm and let me know if you got the same content? Anybody else wants to give this a shot? I'll be pushing the code, so just give it try yourself as well, sending emails yourself or someone else, someone who you can confirm it with. But yeah, do keep in limitation. I mean, do keep in mind not to cross the limit because you'll definitely be blocked for a day if you cross the 500 limit or if you like send too many emails in one go. Uh, Basically, just don't do this stuff. That is dangerous. Don't do that. Okay, so other than that, just play around with it and let me know if you have any doubts. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Harsh. Okay. So yeah, that was it, guys. I'll share the resources in the Notion page in a while. Just take a look. Cool. Any doubts you can ask now, or we can wrap up the session. Next one, we'll probably see like how to actually deploy your applications. So I'll just create a quick uh, s- student management system with the same approach we did in previous ones, along with the node mailer stuff. So we can get an idea of how to actually deploy the whole thing. The code, setting up the ENVs in a production environment and getting it to run, right? We'll take a look at that probably this coming Monday.
भैया
Yeah.
भैया how can we send multiple mails together?
Yeah, let me. Basically, we have an option in NodeMailer itself. Over here, you can just attach many emails. So I can send this to myself as well. I'll send this. You can see it will send both to you and to myself again, actually. So yeah, both came. Both was success. Like on that call. Except for
Like
Neil.
if we are sending to 100 or 200 people, so we have to type their mails.
Not necessarily. Basically, you'll in a real world scenario, you'd probably want to batch and send it. So maybe not batch, group and send. So basically, you'll have maybe some people whose subscription is going to end, right? So you could check like, hey, are these group of people within the subscription range or not? If they're not, then probably you'd want to send a reminder email. So you'll fetch a list of emails and you can just directly put those emails over here. You don't have to type them out anything. If you make this function more reusable, you can
Okay,
put
man.
like parameters to what is the content. Content will include the text and HTML, what is the subject. And this you can use for each user that you want to send. So you make it dynamic. Right now it's all static data. Just for learning purpose, I kept it this way. But obviously it's up to you how you want to use it. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. I'll just stop this. Otherwise it will keep sending emails to all of us. Yeah, anything else, guys?